Okay guys, I am making a video. This is a 2022 KLR. I've just upgraded the fog lamps and I've had a lot of vibration issues. The whole front end would vibrate like crazy. But not too much, you know, but I could hear and notice the vibration. Loading some motorcycles in the trailer with it. One of the motorcycles fell sideways and hit right here, and it caused some damage. I did order a new shroud. I'll be replacing that, but I don't have it yet. There'll be another video. I don't know. So the intent here is to let you know that this motorcycle has the upgraded fog lights. I bought the Tusk Crashbars, which does not fit the 2022 KLRs. I took those to a metal fabrication shop and a welder, and I made something close to at least 30 trips as we modified and adapted a little wider, a little sturdier. I've made some improvements. I did some of that myself. I'm also going to show you a video showing that Kawasaki was I took this to the dealership and they said it's normal to vibrate a lot, that these bikes, they just vibrate a lot. That's all, and there's nothing you can do about it. I disagreed with them, and because I haven't seen anyone else posting a video, I figured, okay, might as well post something that's not showing somebody riding. After this whole thing was done, I did take it for a ride on the freeway and around town. Nothing vibrates anymore. I haven't explored other parts of the motorcycle yet, but what I did do here was I did add the rubber washers to those as well, and to the side ones I did add those. So just so you know what things that I came up with, and it worked, and they work great. So I would highly recommend that anyone that owns a KLR650 2022 do the same. So that's it. It was quite a bit of work. But if I would have broken down everything that I did without taking the time to film and do all that, I would probably have spent about 2 hours, 3 tops, more like 2. And I would have had this whole thing finished within that time period. So let's start the video with I'm going to get started taking these off. There are 3 screws here, and I'm going to take those off and then make it happen and go from there. All right. I've seen quite a few videos about the KLR reviews and whatnot. So I got the new 2022 KLR. But one thing that I've noticed, a few things that I've noticed, is that one, it doesn't, the crash bars only come so low that it's not a very useful crash bar other than simply protecting the engine, not the rest of the bike. So I bought the Tusk crash bars for the older models, and I took to a couple fabrication shops. They've adapted that to this model and made it so it's really wide and it's able to hold the motorcycle without destroying anything on the motorcycle should I drop it. And I would highly recommend everyone to do the same, simply because so many things get broken when you drop it. So a second thing on this is the shrouds. The shrouds are the side plastic. And these side plastics, they vibrate a lot. So I took to Kawasaki and they told me it's normal to vibrate and there's nothing we can do about it. And it's also normal to vibrate against the tank, which even caused, I've only driven this motorcycle for 150 miles, and they put a little clear bra there to protect, but it vibrates a lot against it. So when I'm on a freeway, I can hear it vibrating, and I don't think it should. So I got some tape, and I put some of that tape across where the shroud attaches. I'm going to add some to the tank and to some of the other parts. For example, this lower attachment to the shroud, this is bare metal, and it attaches to the shroud right there to the bottom attachment. There's no washer in between. There's nothing. So it's a really poor build. I don't know how they pride themselves with this type of construction. I love KLRs, but this is a build to be destroyed type of deal, right? So I'm gonna add rubber washers to some of these things. These are neoprene washers. I got some of them at Home Depot. This is what they look like at Home Depot. But then I quickly realized that I could have bought off Amazon a pack with 100 of them for a lot cheaper than Home Depot. So I'm going to add that to almost everything that I can think of. Right after I took all these off, I took the bike for a spin, and sure enough, the vibration was fixed. So the attachment for each point on the shrouds is these plastic rivets, and they are super unreliable. They may look good and match the bike, but they're very unreliable. Another find, I had a mishap of one of my motorcycles falling and hitting this on a trailer, so I had to take it off. But then when I took that off, I ordered a new part, a new one of this left shroud, and when I looked inside, I noticed this, and I figured, what is this? It turns out that they have discontinued the left shroud. My best guess is that it's because that shroud hits against the radiator here. So the radiator has some play. And as it vibrates, it hits the shroud. It vibrates against the shroud, which is really bad for business for us users. So this is a problem. They haven't issued recalls or whatnot, but it is a problem. So I heard this immense vibration, but that was just one of them, and that's what it is. So today, I'm gonna put the shrouds back, and I'm gonna install the accessory lights. So let's see how that goes. I also ordered myself a new service manual. I couldn't find anywhere online that they would sell it. So, and a few extra rivets. Each of these rivets they sell, like I said, not reliable. Everything that I've touched on the motorcycle has come loose somewhat. So it's not built to last. Kind of reminds me of some of a lot cheaper motorcycles that they're built to basically all their plastic cracks and get destroyed, and people just ride without them. I think the 2022 KLR was built for that, was built to self-destroy. Unless you take action, put the rubber washers and fix some of those, and of course use your imagination on stopping vibration against the tank and against the plastic against plastic as well, or plastic against metal, like on this side too. So it is sad that they do it. I have a video of them when I took this bike to them. The mechanic recorded a video saying that these bikes just vibrate a lot, and that's how they were built. Which I don't buy that story, not for 1 second. So, but other than this, I love this motorcycle. I just have to take the time and the patience to make sure that it is fit to run without self-destroying so fast, right?
I checked your tire pressures. They were both low. She says some vibration. I've checked all the bolts and stuff. Everything's tight. These things really vibrate. All of them do, but I'm gonna top your coolant off here. I took this inner panel out to look, but she's gonna get an estimate together for your lights and stuff, which you'll bolt on right here and come around, and the lights will be like right here. I'm cleaning your air filter because it had no oil on it, so I'm cleaned it and gonna put it back in. Lubed your chain, check the adjustment on that. Your oil's still clean, so it doesn't need an oil change. I'm just gonna check everything else, but this bracket you got here, they make some nicer ones from Kawasaki. I don't know if you want to use those or these, but yeah, everything else looks good. Adjust your cables, your clutch cable, throttle cable, and I'll get it all back together, and she'll get an estimate together for all the accessories you want and stuff. But I can't see anything that's loose or anything that would vibrate, so these bikes just vibrate. Okay, thank you.
All right, this is a little update on sources of vibration. So since I'm installing the fog lamps, the auxiliary lights, I just unboxed them, all the hardware there, and the main support bracket. I've noticed that here, this is bare plastic, but it just so happens that this was added by Kawasaki, not by me. I'm guessing to help with vibration. So this is just plastic that goes on plastic. Plastic and plastic held by their little plastic rivet. Of course, they will vibrate a lot. So I am going to add that vibration, this tape to prevent that vibration. I'm gonna add to all 3 of them since they've already added to this one. So these ones here, they already have some rubber on them, which is good. And those ones goes on those front bolts right by where the windshield is. So yeah, that's it. So I'm feeling tempted to add some of that around this, so this plastic here doesn't vibrate against the corner behind here. So hopefully by the time I'm done with this, it's going to be nice and snug. I've also noticed some things like this. There's a little bit of a distance there from the plastic and the metal, but on the right side, there isn't. This is very much, very, very close together. So I'm gonna be looking into that and see if there's anything I can do to prevent that from vibrating. So this is the fog lamp switch that came with the kit. So I've just got the placeholder unbolted. So that's what was going over there. So I just got that off. That's where it was. And I am going to bolt this in place. So this should look a little different now. They didn't really match the color of the plastic. I was kind of hoping they did, but hey, this is not a democracy, it's a dictatorship, and we'll go with it. So I'm gonna bolt those in. We have from the placeholder had this 3 bolts in, so 3 screws, I guess, not bolts. So anyway, on with the installation. So this has a connector here, and that has a connector over there. I'm thinking that that's where it goes. I have the user manual right here telling me what to do and how to install this. So, yeah. Anyway, oh, right there. Fog light installation. So, that's what it is. And moving on. All right, so I've connected the switch to the harness that it came with. And each connector goes to a different light. I haven't got there yet. But the one that hooks onto the motorcycle is this one. And looking this way, it is right here. So this comes with a cap. I've already uncapped, and I'm gonna connect it right there. And that should provide the power for the fog lamps. So let's get on with it. So I forgot that I had to buy a relay with the fog lamps. And this relay, it's supposed to be installed supposed to be installed right there. So this is what the motorcycle looks for reference, and there goes our relay right in there. So I'm gonna get installing it. Now here's what I don't understand why they did it. The contacts are open and facing up. So whenever I spray the motorcycle with water or whatever it is, rain, or this plastics are supposed to protect that. I get it. But if anything sprays from underneath strong enough, water is going to end up getting there, which is facing up. You don't want the relay to fall down, so I can see why by gravity they want you on this direction, but where's the water protection side of things? Maybe not a lot of water gets in there. I don't know. Okay, after some wiggling, I finally got our relay in. So I'm gonna guess that this has to be installed for the auxiliary fog lamps to work. And that's where that is. Because I really don't want vibration, I added these rubber washers before bolting this on our fog lamps light switch. So little rubber washers there to avoid vibration. I've just found another source of vibration. So this little placeholder here, behind it you have that, but that is another source of vibration. So I'm gonna unbolt this and add some tape, some of our silencer tape here, and hopefully we'll get that silenced and vibration free. All right, so this placeholder, I took the back off of it, and this is my solution to eliminating the vibration from this specific location. And I'm going to bolt that back in, and this should be vibration free. This metal no longer will vibrate against the plastic. Okay, so this is the final result. So our placeholder is back there. Now no more vibration. And this is what turned out. So no more vibrations, gotta tell you. Okay, so I'm just about to put it back together. I've added our little tape here to all the vibration points with the rivets or the screws. This one was already here, so Kawasaki put this one in. I put the rest, which doesn't make sense to me why they didn't do all. Also, I added one underneath here and one underneath there. So it's almost there. Added this tape to this side of the shroud, and I'm almost ready to get it back together. Our new switch is here. Looks good. I've also finished putting together the fog lamps. So, yeah, haven't put it in place yet because since this goes under the headlight, so I figured I need to put the headlight back in, and then because the side arms go on the outside of the shrouds, that means that I have to put the shrouds back on before putting these. So I'm gonna start assembling it back and see what happens. Okay, so we are just about to put the right shroud on, but this assembly from the headlight has a potential to vibrate. So I'm going to add our anti-vibration tape in between those two, and also the shroud, which is fiberglass. So we have this bottom end of the shroud going directly against metal. So fiberglass / plastic, whatever it is, against metal is not going to end up well. So what I am doing is adding our washers first, so the metal bolt doesn't wear against the plastic. And I also put one here mostly for vibration reasons. So then on the inside of this one, I'm going to add another washer. On this one, I don't need to. So this way, it will hopefully avoid this part of the shroud to wear out too fast. Now, something else that it's a challenge is this, where the shroud meets the tank. Look at this. It actually dug into it, which tells me it's vibrating a lot against it. So I'm going to need to come up with something, see if I can avoid this. And this is the spot that it hits against. So, and you can see right there where it hits the tank, and it vibrates against the tank non-stop. So I need to come up with something for this design flaw. With time, it's either going to go through this plastic into the paint, or the shroud plastic is going to end up getting damaged, which already is a little bit. So, right shroud. All right, so I'm going to get started on it and see how that goes. Okay, so because that surface, the whole surface is gonna hit the shroud, and the washer that I was using, the little one, it's too little to cover that. So I got a larger one that covers the whole thing. So now I have a washer on this side under that, and then the other one we don't need one on the inside. So, and that is going to avoid any vibration. Still working on this. Okay, so this is not very pretty, but it should be functional. And I got the tape, anti-vibration tape here, and hopefully I got on the other side as well, right here. So hopefully this will stop a number of vibrations. Let's keep going. Okay, so the bolts are just in place. It's now time to put the top bolts, and as expected, I did add our neoprene or rubber washers to each bolt. So, and they should be nice and silent, no vibration. Not all of them, some of them, you notice a nylon washer. It's a hard nylon washer. In some of the bolts, this was already broken. In some of them, it didn't even exist. So I don't know what's up with Kawasaki's quality, but they don't put washers on all their bolts, just so you know. So I'll get both in this right shroud, and I have the fog light wires. I don't know if it gets through this hole or if it goes through the front somewhere. When I get to that point, I will look on the menu and see what it says. Okay, I'm about to put the left shroud on. What I found out is it's easier to actually stick the tape on the inside of the shroud, then get the holes done, then put it on. It's a lot seamless, so it's a perfect finish. There's no imperfections or anything showing that shouldn't be. So on to the left shroud. I just got our larger washer on this shroud. That's the same as the other one, and that goes over there. So, all right, let's get going. All right, now I'm mounting the fog lights. So I put the middle bolt not too tight, just enough so I can use as a placeholder. I loosen the bolt on the side, and now I should be able to fix this in place. And I am still waiting for my left shroud replacement. As you can see, there's some damage here. And this left shroud has a little bit of a design issue where it presses against a few things in the back, so you have to actually really push it. I hope that they have redesigned this well. If you look for the original left shroud, Kawasaki says that it's no longer being manufactured. It's been superseded by a different shroud, different part number. So I'm guessing they know they messed up on the left shroud. And yeah, okay, let's finish this. And I also noticed here, that there's this metal lip and the wire that comes in goes into that, and of course this goes in there. So perfect fit. Okay, just finished bolting the fog lights, connected those, tighten, put the front fender back on. Now everything is where it's supposed to be, and I have my fog lights. So now the final touch is to put this over there. This is a metal thingy with some adhesive in the back. So a few details about the fog lights is that this metal that supports the light against the frame, it's tricky to find which one goes where, but I hope with this video that you're able to sort it out. They are, of course, the opposite of each other. You'll be able to figure that out. Another detail is that this these corners here, they have a soft angle, and the ones behind, they have a much pointier angle. So that was something else that I was trying to see on pictures online and whatnot, but the installation manual pictures, they weren't very clear about it. Another thing is the light itself. I don't know if the reflectors could be slightly pointing down if the letters are up. So when I first put it together, I ended up with the upside down bulb, and I didn't know if that was going to do anything. So ended up taking the lights apart and flipping that. This I got right for the first right on the first try. And that's it. Those are the two things that I wanted to show for whoever is adding these lights to their own bikes. So just make sure you got those things right. One more detail about these custom crash bars is that when I was having them tweaked and manufactured, I wanted 3 inches from the shroud, because if I fall hard, the motorcycle will kind of roll right to this point. And with my previous KLR, this actually ended up bending. It was a tusk as well, and my son dropped it and taken out of the shed in the concrete. My 2016 KLR, and this was only 1 inch distance. So when he dropped it, this went to about a 1/2 inch. So it was super close to the shroud. So I figure, you know what, I'm gonna get something a little longer than that. So yeah, so that's what it is. This way it gives me leeway to, if I do happen to drop it, it should protect most of the motorcycle. This is it. This is it for this video, I figured to share all this information. I don't see much of anyone else doing the same. All right, so another detail is when I made the crash bars, the metal fabrication place, they didn't put a really good attachment here. They just used a really cheap way of doing things. So this was basically not attached. And I ended up making that 1/4 inch is the same as the crash bar itself, the same measurement and width. So I got that, and I made its form with a thin metal, took to a welder, and he ended up heating it up and making sure to get my perfect angle. And when I got home, I ended up doing a lot of hammering, grinding, reshaping, and I finally got it. And I just painted it temporarily with the KLR650. And I probably need to take this off and go take to a place so they can powder coat it. I'll probably do that. But right now, this is 100% solid, nothing vibrates. And I'm gonna show you. I know a lot of people who will probably say you're crazy, but I'm gonna lay this motorcycle down just to show you how the crash bars, how far they hold the motorcycle from getting damaged. So I'm gonna do that. Let me see how I'm gonna pull this off. Be right back. Okay, this is it. I wanted to give a quick demo of my custom crash bars. Didn't want to scratch them. There's quite a bit of room before. I would probably say at least 6 inches, because I do have some wood over there. And that's what the crash bars are doing now. It's pretty good. I love it. So I do not regret making these custom crash bars. Now that I know that they hold the entire motorcycle. So, horrible way to demo it, I know, but that's what I worked a lot to get these manufactured to the way I wanted them to be. So, all right. If you want these, if you want these same crash bars, I don't know. It depends on how many people asks for them. I can use mine as a template and have so many of them manufactured. Or maybe you wouldn't want, because they do look very prominent. So I don't know if somebody else's opinion would be to buy it. But yeah, quite some picture to see a brand new KLR 2022 KLR650 just laying to demo some crash bars. I know that's a little twisted, but it is what it is. Whew. Yeah, I wanted to test the other side too, so ended up laying to the other side and seeing the clearance, how far everything stays from hitting the ground. And I gotta say, this is a thing of beauty. So why would you go through all this trouble? It's because I don't want to pay for a lot of fixing if I happen to drop it. Some more professional drivers, they would probably never drop it. Some good riders. I consider myself a good rider, but I am sure I will be having my moments sooner or later. And when those moments do happen, the motorcycle hopefully will remain intact. So, oh, by the way, I wanted to show, yeah, there's just a level there. Yeah, the floor is 100% level. I did use some wood to call it cheating, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I hope this helps somebody make a decision about crash bars.